Remember, the key to success is working hard. For our country, we must have regard. Forget all your differences, let we start to build. And onward to progress we surely will.
Yes, indeed, the key to success is no longer working hard, but working smarter and also working harder. So it's not just working hard and you will be successful, but you have to work smarter and also harder. So you have to join both together. All right? You have to join them together, and you will be successful. Nearly everything around us is smart. The television, the iPad, the cell phone, the watch, the washing machine, the microwave, the cars, and we can go on and on and on. I want to welcome you to the Dynamic Hour, and specifically this segment where I will speak, laying a solid foundation for meaningful engagement. I want to start off by saying we had some technical issues last night, so I was unable to come on. But let us get into the meat of the conversation for this morning. I want to say to those who believe they can cause our Grenadian brothers and sisters to be afraid to participate in our electoral process, they will fail. You will fail. Because I remember many years ago, there was the same issue. And the question was asked, can the people who are registered, whose names appear on the voters list, but live in different countries around the world, or Grenadian brothers and sisters who will come back home from time to time, who will contribute significantly towards the development of our country? Can they really vote? Can they participate in our elections once they are registered? And the answer was yes. From legal luminaries, the answer was yes. So they are trying to scare you. They are trying to say to you, you are not a Grenadian anymore. They want you to believe that you cannot participate, but they're making a big mistake. And they're scared because of the amount of people who continue to register, who continue to register to vote. We are Grenadians. Who are you? We are Grenadians. Who are you? And even if you are in the United States, even if you are in Canada, even if you are in the United Kingdom, even if you are in Trinidad, even if you are outside of Grenada and you visit your homeland from time to time, I'm saying to you, please get registered to vote. Get registered to vote. So right now we are focusing heavily on those in the diaspora. As you come home for Carnival, as you come home for Christmas, as you return for funerals, as you return for events, please get registered. Get registered so you can vote when the election time comes around. They are scared because historically the NNP would be very strong in the diaspora, and they would dominate what takes place there. The NNP is extremely weak in the diaspora. People don't want to hear about NNP or see NNP. So there's no way people are going to leave and come to support them. They know that because for many years, many elections gone by, our brothers and sisters who reside in the diaspora, right, but visit Grenada quite often, would come back home and vote for the NNP. That was what used to happen. But now it's the other way around because people are happy with the direction the country is going, and people want to support the transformation agenda. People want to see that this administration is successful in moving Grenada forward, in moving Grenada up, up, and up. So the NNP, they're scared. They're scared, so they're starting the attack. And they want to scare you. In fact, some of them calling on the NNP to open their mouth and talk about this, but they know that this thing is legal and legitimate. So I want to encourage you, the folks who living in the United States, living in Canada, living in the United Kingdom, living outside of Grenada, and you come to Grenada quite often, you visit your homeland, please, when you come here, register. Register to vote. They cannot stop you. Register to vote, and when the election comes around, you will participate. We will do all in our power to mobilize and organize you so you can participate in our elections. It is very important. The numbers are scaring them because whatever I touch, whatever I initiate, becomes very successful and will bear fruits. So they realize that a great number of people have gotten registered. Don't think they know. They know. They're scared. So again, I want to encourage you, get registered so that you can participate in the elections. We have 10 times the amount of Grenadians who are here in Grenada, Carrick and Petit-Martinique, living outside of Grenada, Carrick and Petit-Martinique. All right? So we could do it. We could do it. The numbers are making them go mad. Our focus also must be on getting our children or the young people who turn 18 to be registered. So if you have a child or a grandchild and they turn 18, or maybe they're 19 or 20 and they're not registered, let us work on them to be registered. And those who live in the diaspora and you have a high level of influence on the family back home, the mother, the father, the sister, the cousin, the brother, the neighbor, please work on them because they will listen to you. You send remittances back home, you send barrels, food stuff, you send clothes, you support the family back home. It is important that you use your influence to get them registered. So if they are not yet registered, get them registered. All right? Once they turn 18, encourage the mother, encourage the father to get them registered because it is a numbers game. In fact, sometime between now and then, I will dedicate 1 week to you calling in and providing me with all the information require so that I can enter you into the database. All right? So I will let you know. I'll promote it, I'll advertise it, so you can know in advance when that will be, an entire week, both morning program and night program. And I will ask Kim the King for an extension, both for the morning and the night. And we will do so privately and confidentially. So while I will be on, I will have 3 or 4 people in here who I trust, because I work pretty much solo to protect your information and everything else, who I trust to enter the information into the database, because there are people who got registered the last time wrong but didn't vote. And there are those who got registered this time wrong and looking forward to vote from the diaspora and here in Grenada. Because what we need to do, because remember, you have 80-something thousand people who were registered for the last election, and quite a number of people did not get to vote. Thousands of people. So what we must do is to identify those who were registered then for the last election and did not vote, but could have, right, were eligible to vote, and those who recently or from the last election to this point got registered and willing to vote and want to vote. So then we can balance the numbers. That's important, because that should take us into the thousands. And we can work on that group, let's say the 3 or 4 or 5,000 people, those who were registered the last election, didn't get the chance to vote. Maybe you're in the diaspora, maybe you're here in Grenada. Those who got registered from the last election to now and looking forward to vote. So that is what we intend to work on, because it is a numbers game. The constituencies you're from, and so on and so forth. So again, look forward to that. The entire week will be dedicated for that. Because for me, I am more interested in the next election. I am not interested in just the one that gone and just the now. I am interested in down the road, the next general election, because I want to see a bigger victory. I want to see more seats for the NDC, for the National Democratic Congress, because I am not worried about the people who call different talk show programs and blah, blah, blah. They're insignificant in the scheme of things. They're not speaking for the majority of people in the country. They did so in the lead up to the last general elections. And a lot of people were caught up. They thought, well, boy, it looked as though the NNP was this and that. And I said, no. I said the numbers do not add up on their side. I said, have no fear. Just do what I tell you and everything will be okay. And I gave you renewed confidence. And I encouraged you throughout that journey. Same thing now. You hear them talking and talking. Insignificant. I want to say to you also, the media has never been on the side of the NDC at no given time. And the media has not helped the NDC win any election from 1990 to this point. The media has never been in favor of the NDC in government. In fact, the majority of people who are in that particular fraternity or industry or area of work, they're NNP supporters. The majority of them, they support the NNP. And they kowtow to the NNP. They hold the NDC to a higher standard than the NNP, because over the 20-something years of the NNP being in power, they were able to benefit significantly, right, personally in many instances, not for the whole industry. So the NDC did more for the media in this country when it comes to the industry, when it comes to the entire mainstream media or the media in Grenada. The NDC repealed, abolished the criminal defamation laws, the laws that spoke to libel and you going in jail if you write certain things, if you publish certain things, if you're brought to court and found guilty, you could have faced prison time, 6 months in prison. Yep. And Grenada became the first Caribbean state to decriminalize defamation. Yep. Leading to the International Press Institute to congratulate Grenada. They actually congratulated Grenada openly. Yeah. So, and that happened under the Tillman Thomas led administration. That happened under the NDC. Under the NDC. Because what existed before under the NNP and under previous governments, there was this provision in law that says if you are found guilty of criminal defamation or libel, you can get up to 6 months and 2 years. Yes, up to between 6 months and 2 years in prison. You can go to jail for 2 years, go to jail for 6 months. That was changed by NDC, not NNP. The NDC also included journalists, reporters in the minimum wage order, media workers, reporters and announcers in the minimum wage order. That was not there before. They were working for dot money. They were working for nothing. Yeah, nothing. Some of them were working for $800 a month, $900 a month. Now they can boast that they are collecting more than $375 per week. So if the month has 5 weeks, they're guaranteed some 16 or so $100, right? Because you're, in fact, closer to 2,000. Yeah, 3 and 3, 6. 3 and 3, 6, that's 12. And 75, 75, 75, 75, 150, that's 13, 14, 15, right? And then if an extra one, almost $2,000. Yep. And if the month has 4 weeks, then about 16 or so $100. They're guaranteed that by law, a reporter or an announcer. But they were working for 800 and so 700 and something dollars. And they can testify to that. But they don't like good. They don't like a good government. In fact, historically, the media has supported corruption in this country. They have supported one-manism in this country. And the media has always turned a blind eye to the abuses that were taking place under the NNP. Under the NNP administration. You remember when Calistra Faria got choked down, pushed down? You remember? By that NNP Minister of Government? She got a good choke. Just choke her down. The same Calistra. My good parties are. What happened? What became of that? The same media workers never came to her aid, never spoke out against it. In fact, they jeered, they laughed. They giggled. It was a big joke. Then those NNP green beasts boxed down the same Callistra Faria iPad at the housing scheme in Dabo. Yeah, they box it down. What I call them green beasts, those NNP green beasts. Remember during the Gary era, there was those green beasts beating people and doing all kind of thing. They were above the law. Those NNP green beasts and them, they boxed down her iPad. She was doing her work. And most of the media workers there, they were intimidated, they were threatened. What came out of that? Nothing. Did the media workers came out and defend that? No. But this time around, you have the same Callistra. She wants her way. And if she doesn't get her way, then she would go on a platform where I think they had some media awards. It was poorly attended, very poorly attended, because most of the people within that whole media circle, they're not comfortable with what's going on, That is why it was so poorly attended. So she went there and she wanted to steal the limelight, maybe be the headline out of the whole media awards, because she realized that this thing was a piece of mess, a wreck. It didn't come off the way it was supposed to. And she started to open her mouth. But then when you investigate, when you look at the whole thing, it is standard. If you have to interview the prime minister of any country, there must be some kind of common understanding, some kind of back and forth, some kind of engagement between you and the press secretary, or you and the people responsible from the government end and your end. But that is how they have done over the many years. If they can't get their way, they can't get an interview with the prime minister the way they want it, then they would bully their way and make people believe that they're the victim. In my belief, that is what they want. That is the whole thing, They can't get the interview how they want it, and because they believe that the most honorable Deacon Mitchell is some puff or some walk over. Joke they're making, Joke they're making. That is not the old NDC, where you all took advantage and where you all could do what you want and where you want and how you want. You joking? It's a different ball game. They couldn't do that under Keith Mitchell and NNP and them. No, you matter what. In fact, they were afraid of the NNP and all of them. They were afraid of Keith Mitchell and the NNP, in my belief. But they believed that they could come and just, you want to do an interview, and because you don't get it in the time you want it, you want to go on a platform and talk your damn nonsense. Callistra is my good party. I'm a good friend. My good friend. I am saying it is normal for there to be an engagement between the two parties to know about how the interview will be conducted, right? And the areas that will be covered. But because you don't get the interview within the time you want it and where you want it and how you want it, you decided, well, you will go out there and make people believe that this thing is some press conference and so. No. It is not a press conference. When government has a press conference, you go in there and you ask your questions, whatever question you want to ask. And in some instances, they will tell you, this is what they're dealing with this morning, all around the world, even in the White House, even in the United States of America. This is what they're focusing on, and this is what they're focusing on. So you're not going to come then and bully your way. It's the same thing that occurred, in my belief, when the swearing in of the new cabinet of ministers took place. The same characters within the media, same characters, right? They wanted access to be able to, I don't know what they're making out of it. They want to be the first to this and the first to that. And they knew that all the ministers were not going in and take the oath at the same time. They knew that. You think they didn't know? They knew that. But they decided to make it a big issue. The same characters to make it a big issue and publish this and talk about ACM put out this statement and Reporters Without Borders put out this statement and all kind of nonsense regarding them having access to the swearing-in ceremony and so on. Yeah, same characters who are behind that because they didn't get their way. They want to bully their way through the system. But you're making a mistake. Most of them, they're outdated, and they're irrelevant. We are living in the day and age of social media. Like it and not, deal with it. Deal with it. Nearly everything is coming live. Nearly everything is already out there. When government is having things, it's out there. So by the time you go and report it, it's still news. Get up to time. Fall in line. Deal with it. Social media. We are living in the day and age of social media. So you come with a big old camera and some old stupidness and deciding you want to interview and you do. Waste of time. It's already out there. The news is already out there. And that is what they cannot deal with. But the same characters. Don't fool yourself, It's a personal interview. They wanted a personal interview. But they believe that they can just walk into the Prime Minister's office and demand an interview to talk about this and talk about this and that. Because they believe that, it's not Keith Mitchell there, because if it's Keith Mitchell in power, they're afraid. They're afraid. That is why one was told, don't go there. When they start to ask about certain things, don't go there. Same Callistra. So don't worry them. The majority of them, they are cowards. When Keith Mitchell was around, they are cowards. They're like rat eat a tongue. So don't worry them. They have become useless in society because of social media, because they can't fall in line. They cannot upgrade. They cannot get up to the times. Yeah, they can't. And they have to deal with that reality. Social media. We are living in the day and age of social media. Theodel, pass by Ricky and collect the thing now. All right, nice. So I am saying to you, Grenadians know what's going on in the country. They're following what's happening. No longer some guy or some girl or some lady or whatever have to go to some site and bring some news piece and news item so that the public going to get to know what is happening in Molineux and the progress that is taking place in Molineux with that piece of road. It's already on social media. When the government does certain things, all their programs and so on, it's already on social media. We see it. It's on GIS page, YouTube, or on Facebook. We get it on WhatsApp. We get all these different things. We don't have to wait for GBN or MTV or Now Grenada or Callistra and Hamlet and them to publish their rubbish. We don't have to. Gone are those days. That's days of old. Right now, I have almost 700 people viewing me on YouTube and on Facebook. Live. In their car, in their vehicle, wherever. At once. After the program, a couple thousand of them will view online. They will spread the news. They will talk to their family and friends. And I still have thousands of people on radio live listening to me. So there is no need for these people, right? They dominated because there was a void. Yeah. They dominated during NDC of 2008 to 2013. There was a void. So the NNP dominated the media and the narrative, though they were in opposition. And then you had the majority of those in the media. They were pro-NNP, pushing an NNP agenda. And they really dominated. They controlled the narrative. But now they're useless. They're not relevant. Who cares? Who cares? It's just different now. Because Kim Jones is here, Eddie Frederick is here, Kim the King and his team, they are here, and our brothers and sisters are on social media every single moment, every single second, every single minute, every single hour, every single day, every single night, defending, promoting, and everything else. People have WhatsApp, people have smartphones. These days you have 4 and 5 phones, right? And that's the reality. So it's difficult for them to get away with anything. So the government's message is getting through, and people are getting to know what the government is doing. So all the noise and all the talk and all the rubbish that they're talking, people are not even bothered with them. People are more interested in Grenada succeeding and Grenada advancing, Grenada developing. That is what we want. So we have been able to overcome the whole plot by the media and those obstructionists on the opposition side. They're not able to dominate anything. And we have the new Today newspaper. Remember? The same NNP tried to, well, the NNP administration closed down the Grenada Today newspaper, and then they came up with the new Today newspaper. Yeah. You didn't hear them come out and defended George Worm and say anything about that. No, they were glad. Those in the media, they were glad that George Worm was shut down by the same NNP administration, by the same old cock. So don't worry them. Don't worry them. They're irrelevant because people don't look at TV anymore in any big way. Who looks at news on TV? Right? You have a little group of people who do that from time to time. Maybe those who are pretty old school, but you get your news on the go. You get your news on the go. You go and check GBN, or if you want MTV, you could check it out, or on your phone, right? Or you check some other page or some other thing and you get to know what's going down. You get your news on the go as you move ahead. That's what it is. You have to wait and sit down and watch TV and so on, and then watch Calistro and them talk the rubbish with Hamlet Mack and them with the sinister intent, in my belief. He's a political mercenary, in my belief. People are not interested in that anymore. So all how they trying, all the opposition forces, all how they trying, they're not succeeding. They're not. Jenny could be on YouTube talking all she nonsense day and night. People are not even worried with that political lunatic. People are not worried with her. And you can go on because you see the government is performing well. The government is doing a lot for our people. Things are happening in the country. This is not the old NDC. No matter what. This is the new NDC who learn from the past and who are ready to take them on. The old NDC never saw the need to get more and more people registered continuously from the diaspora here in Grenada. The new NDC is doing that. Our people are getting registered in record numbers and organizing. Look at the new NDC. The women's arm is functional. The youth arm, the executive, the party, the fundraising, every constituency doing work and getting things done. Look at the performance of the government. Look at the amount of things that the government is doing. Here, there, and everywhere. Things are happening in the country. Happening. And people are happy about it. We're on the air. We are on radio. We are on social media. We're there day, night, morning, just consistently promoting and defending our party and promoting and defending our government. It's a different dispensation, a different epoch, a different time, a different vibes. We understand this to a T. We learn over the many years. Look at the NNP. They're in disarray. They cannot even call a convention. They cannot even call a general council. They cannot even organize a little event. Look at my event. I organize an event at the hotel. Look at the amount of people down there. The NNP could organize an event like that. Kim Jones alone organized an event in the hotel. Look at the amount of people who were there. Huh? People travel from overseas just to come to the event here. The NNP cannot even organize up. I went to New York. Look at the event in New York. Look at among the people. Me, Cam Johnson. Simple guy. And wherever I go and organize anything, same thing. I organize an event at my place here. Look at among the people here who came out. The NNP cannot even organize a damn fundraiser to sell bakes and fish cake, right? Or sauce, or some fried chicken and chips. They can't organize nothing. Nothing is successful. Their blight cost take them. But the media has never been on the side of NDC. They have always been on the side of NNP. Historically, they have never been an asset to NDC. No. So the NDC has to continue to use social media, use friendly platforms to advance their cause or causes. Yeah, that is exactly what must be done. They are not on the side of, no, they want to see the NDC fail. And the Prime Minister is tactical and his team. Kudos to you, Miss ATN. Girl, you're doing a damn good job. That's a real press secretary. I love you with all my heart. I think it's ATN, that's her name. You're doing a damn good work. And you have a young person with you who's doing the social media work. And all the ministers of government, you're doing a good job. You're promoting what you're doing in your constituency and you're advancing it and so on. I love it. Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Yeah. Keep it going. Nice. I love it. You're doing a wonderful job. Those ministers of government and the press secretary. We had one before and I came down really hard on that one because I realized she didn't know what she was doing, the one before. But Miss ATN, you're doing a damn good job. Put them straight, set them straight. And what you need to do is to ask most of them to submit the questions for nearly everything months in advance so we can get some English teachers to edit the questions so it can be in proper English format, right? And then you can send it back to them so they can come and ask the questions. I'm telling you, right? Neela ATN, you're doing a good job. Manners Day, tailpiece, because they thought it's a walkover. They talk about boycott. You boycotting and you're not even relevant. They boycotting press conference. Stupid. What's wrong with all you? You can't boycott when you have a lot of replacement and options. You're making yourself a damn lunatic, a clown. Right? It's stupid. It's like what the NNP did to the public service, the Public Workers Union. What the NNP did was to have a public service in a public service where a whole pile of people were placed on contract, right? So when the Public Service Union call some strike or something of that sort, it's never successful because the people on contract, they must go to work and continue working. Yeah, I'm telling you, they must continue working. Same thing. So you have a replacement. So no matter how they call a strike and call this, nothing is successful. So you have this media people without big old camera and all kind of old stupidness going to some press conference. The thing carried live. It's carried live. The government getting to say what they have to say live. Social media, everything's all over the place. So you being there, you ain't being there, it doesn't make a difference. Who cares? What's wrong with you all? They have never been on the side of the government, the NDC. They want to see the NDC fail. And I love to see what is happening. Right? Yeah, don't worry them. I know you won't chuck down Callistra like the NNP former minister. You just chuck her down, like a piece of thing, chuck her down on the ground. And then a lot of those who now talking, they they never came to our support, her aid. They never came to her aid. They could have cared less. They wanted more to happen to her. It's just amazing. So they have become very irrelevant. And they don't realize that, Right now, I have almost 800 people looking at me live on Facebook and YouTube. Right now, right live. Sit down wherever they day, wherever you are, in your vehicle, in your house, in your car, wherever. Sit down looking at me live or walking and looking at me live. Before time, 10, 15 years ago, you didn't have that. No. It's a different time. And I'm not talking about those on radio, the people in the vehicle and so on and home, wherever, on the radio, listen to me. I'm talking about live numbers. Live numbers. And any program you have where you can get that amount of people listening to you, just look at the ripple effect. Every one of those who are listening or viewing me, they have 5 friends or 10 friends who they will speak to during the day, during the night, about this program and what was discussed. Right? That is how news spreads. That's how message gets out. So I am simply saying they have become very irrelevant because the people already getting the information. The government has many different ways to get it out. You're dealing with young people who are in government. They're tech savvy, they're internet savvy, they know what they're about. You understand the point? They know what they are about. All right? So don't worry. Stay and nurse all your wounds. We could deal with that. I want to say further on a different matter. There is a need for consistency within the Royal Grenada Police Force. And I will not stop until we see it. And I will advocate at a higher level for that to take place. So not just on radio, but I have what it takes to see that happen. Right? There is a need for consistency and leadership within the Royal Grenada Police Force. You cleared the people on the sidewalks, the vendors. You cleared them. You removed them. They went into the market. The sidewalks was nice and clean, but lo and behold, they're back on the sidewalks, vending and selling. So what purpose it was for you to clear the sidewalks just before independence, and after independence, you leave the people to go back on the sidewalks to sell and to do everything that they were doing before? Come on. There is a need for leadership within the Royal Grenada Police Force. It's terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. So you have these NNP police officers, majority of them, they got promoted over a period of time under NNP, and they're just messing up the system. They want the commissioner of police and assistant commissioner of police and so on to come and tell them, do this and do that. Do this and do that and do this and do that. You need to be able to carry out your roles and your duties without somebody over your head telling you do this and do that. It is foolishness at the highest level. There's a lack of leadership within the Royal Grenada Police Force at different levels. Come on. And the administrative arm of the police force, it is terrible. Really terrible. A person will apply for permission to do something, and the secretary or secretaries who's supposed to acknowledge receipt of that email that you sent. We are not dealing with paper anymore. You have an email address that you publish, so people are sending you stuff there. Give a prompt response. Acknowledge receipt of that email. And if you're sending a police to do an assessment of the venue, let the person know. Let them know that you're sending somebody to do an assessment, because many times they want to come in to see. If it's in a public space, it's something different, right? And communicate effectively. And when you do your assessment and so on, let the person know what is the findings, what is the conclusion. But you know what is the conclusion, but the person who has the event, they don't know whether you approve for the traffic arrangements, whether you approve the PA system or the public address system. Everything is just Vike and something ain't right. Something is not right. There is a need for consistency within the Royal Grenada Police Force and leadership. There are too many square pegs in wrong hole or holes. They can't lead. And that is why you have some of these people in the police force for a long time and they're not getting rank. They can't go further. They cannot lead. They don't have leadership qualities. And the administrative arm of the police force is a wreck, is a mess. And I will talk about that, and I will advocate within the system for that nonsense to change. It has to change, right? There are too many people with high rank within the police force who are still NNP police officers. They are NNP. They want to undermine the government. And you're seeing that within the public service too, within the different ministries and so on. But that would not happen. We will not sit by and allow that damn stupidness to happen no matter what. We fought for that election. We worked too hard to get NDC inside government. And we're going to make sure that they remain there. These underminers and saboteurs, they would not be able to do what they intend to do, no matter what. You have to stand up. We have to stand up. And then, you know, all these ghetto-like things that are going up in all different places. People just building things along the damn place as though it's some ghetto. We got to stand up for those things and make sure that there is, you know, a lot of people just be living this slackness and so on in this place. You go through St. George's, you bounce somebody umbrella on the sidewalk, you know, they want to fight with you, they want to cuss you, you know. They set up the umbrella all about on the sidewalk in St. George's. The police, you clear them. Why you not maintaining it? Then police only there to run down some damn bossman to charge them as though you train these people to run behind bossmen. Like boss police, you know, some of these police officers, they're like boss police, bossmen police. They have to follow boss and only charging and doing the damn stupidness. Focus more on deeper policing. We can get results. This nonsense has to stop. All right? Utter rubbish, if you ask me. You clear the sidewalks and maintain it. You're too inconsistent. You're going to start a campaign when it comes to pretty elastic and so on, and tutus, you fall flat. You ain't hearing nothing about it. You will start a campaign, zero violence against women and whoever. You start that, tutus, you fall flat. You're going to start, there is a need for consistency and leadership. You're not too inconsistent. You're not too inconsistent. Trust me. But folks, we have a lot to talk about, you know. We have a lot to discuss. A lot to discuss. Have a wonderful day. I'll be back with you tonight in the hub, starting from 18 p.m. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. We have to promote our government. We have to safeguard the gains made and solidify it in going forward. Grenadians still like a tough leader. Grenadians still like tough ministers. And Grenadians still like somebody who could, you know, hold the thing firm. Yeah. Don't think we ain't have that in us. Don't want no soft stuff and no puff. No. Has to be more than that. Has to be deeper than that. You have too many people in certain positions who believe that, you know, they bigger than the system now. You know, I always give that reference on this program, you know. When NNP was in power, when they meet those ministers of government or elected reps, they salute them police officers. They salute them. Now they're playing as though they don't know them, you know. I'm telling you, some of them playing as though because they believe that they're higher than them. What's wrong with this piece of thing on them in my view? What's wrong with all you? What's wrong with you? They're policymakers. They could send you to Carriacou or PT Matnik or in the garage or somewhere else. They're policymakers. You ought to have respect for them anyway you see them. You understand what I'm saying? It's just amazing. And I see that, I just laugh. But deep down, I say, under NNP time, they were afraid. They saluted them everywhere they go. But we have to stand firm to defend what we have, protect this. This nonsense has to stop. And that is why I remember our Prime Minister, our beloved Prime Minister, went to an event in St. Patrick, and he had one from Balthazar go to receive the Prime Minister with some ordinary clothes as though, you know, you're acting superintendent. The man go with some ordinary clothes, you know, disrespect. But he was acting, so they were able to bring him back down to assistant superintendent of police to take that rank from him and bring him back down, you know. But that's how they see this thing, as though what's wrong with you all? Huh? You're not above the system. You're not. Check yourself before you wreck yourself, all right? Folks, take good care and have a wonderful, wonderfully.